हेलो स्वदर्शन चक्रधारी ब्राह्मण कुलभूषणों को हम मधुबन वासियों की नमस्ते। आज रविवार जून की 6 तारीख है। प्रातः क्लास में बाप दादा की मुरली सुनते हैं।
Hello and namaste from us residents of Madhuban to all the jewels of the Brahmin clan who are spinners of the discus of self-realization. Today is Sunday, the 6th of June 1965, and the morning class are listening to Bapdada's Murli. You are the ocean of love, and we are thirsty for even one drop.
ये किसने गाया? बच्चों ने गाया।
Om Shanti. Who sings this? It's the children that sing this.
के लिए ये तो जरूर है कि बाप को बच्चों के लिए प्यार रहते हैं।
Because it's sung towards the father, because it's definite that the father maintains love for the children.
जब बाप को बच्चों के लिए प्यार रहता है तो माँ का भी रहता है प्यार, ठीक है ना?
And so when the father maintains love for the children, then the mother would definitely maintain love for the children as well, wouldn't she?
तो बरोबर बच्चे कहते भी रहते हैं तो माँ पिता लोगों।
So children definitely continue to say, you are the mother and father.
जरूर प्यार करते हैं। हम बालक का तेरे अभी किसको याद प्यार किया?
And so they definitely remember the one, because we are your children, they sing this. And so he must definitely give them that love. And who is it that they are saying it to?
माँ मालिक को, यानी क्रिएटर हुआ नहीं, बच्चों का रचता हुआ।
And they're saying it to the master, that is, the creator. That means the creator of the children.
तो बाप और माँ को प्यार करते हैं बच्चे, माँ और बाप बच्चों को प्यार करते हैं।
And so the children have love for both the mother and the father gives love to the children.
ये भी ऐसे ही बच्चे कहते हैं कि ज्ञान का सागर है परंतु एक बूंद है, अर्थात एक सेकंड है। बूंद क्या?
And so he says that he has this love for the children and he gives that love. And what does he give? He gives a drop. And what is that drop? It's a drop of knowledge. What does a drop mean? It means receiving something within a second.
सागर की एक जरी सी है, एक बूंद से हम जीवन मुक्ति पाते हैं। यानी ये जो
just from one drop of the ocean of knowledge we attain liberation and life.
मृत्यु लोक उनसे चले जाते हैं आमलोक।
And the meaning of that is that we are removed from the land of death and we go to the land of immortality.
वाया अपने स्वीट होम, ये तो बच्चों को समझाया गया ना अच्छी तरह से।
And we go via our sweet home. This has been explained to the children very well, hasn't it?
अभी ये तो बच्चे जानते हैं कि अनेक मतांतर है, कोई किसको पूछता है, कोई किसको पूछता है, कोई गुरु अथाह है वो।
And the children know that there are many different opinions in the world. Some people will worship one, others will worship another. There are innumerable gurus in the world.
क्या है मतांतर? वो सभी झाड़ के छोटी छोटी टाड़ियाँ, बिल्कुल छोटी टाड़ियाँ, तुम झाड़ को देखेंगे ना, देखो फाउंडेशन होते हैं, मुझे फाउंटेन निकलते हैं, 3 फाउंटेन निकलते हैं ना बच्चे, इसको फ्लावर वॉज भी कहते हैं अंग्रेजी में।
And so what are all of these things? These are all the little twigs of the tree. When you look at the picture of the tree, you can see how all these little twigs emerge. They come out from the foundation, and so it's like a fountain emerging from the foundation. Another way of looking at it is looking at it like a bouquet of flowers.
गुलदस्ता 3 है फाउंटेन, 1 है फाउंडर नीचे.
And so you've got these 3 sort of jets of the fountain emerging, and then you've got one foundation at the bottom. And so those three jets emerge out of that one foundation.
वह है ना ये फाउंडेशन, भाई बराबर फाउंडेशन है. आदि सनातन सतयुगी देवी देवता धर्म ह्यूमैनिटी. कौन सी वैरायटी? ये आदि सनातन देवी देवताओं की वैरायटी.
And so that foundation is definitely the original eternal deity religion, and it has a variety. And what is it a variety of? It's the variety of that original eternal deity religion.
वैरायटी धर्म का झाड़ है. वो जो झाड़ होते हैं किस्म किस्म का, एक एक बीज का वो अपना अपना फल देते हैं, ऐसा ही.
This is the tree of the variety of religions. Every tree has its own variety that emerges from a seed.
ये है बराबर झाड़, परंतु इसको गाए जाते हैं वैरायटी, यानी भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार के धर्मों का झाड़.
And so this is the human world tree, but it has a variety. That means that there is a variety of different religions within this tree.
वो अथाह धर्म है, अनेकानेक. तो अनेकानेक मत भी है बहुत.
Look, there are countless religions, and there are also countless opinions.
तो अनेकानेक मत आपस में मिल नहीं सकती है.
And so countless opinions cannot agree with each other.
देखो कहाँ भी जाओ, तुम राज्यसभा देखो, लोकसभा देखो, जो कुछ भी इन्होंने बनाई है, एक मत कभी नहीं मिलेगी.
Look, wherever you go, whether you go to the houses of the MPs, whether you go to the houses of the senators, wherever you look, they'll all have different opinions, and their opinions never agree with each other.
मिले दूसरे से, कोई न कोई मत के ऊपर इनका झगड़ा चल जाते हैं.
These opinions are never unified, and there's always squabbling based upon one or another opinion in these places.
इसलिए बाप आकर के सब झगड़ा मिटा देते हैं. मतलब
And this is why the Father comes and ends all squabbles.
झगड़ा मिटा देता हूँ ये मत भेद का. तो मत भेद वो कहते हैं द्वैत मत.
And so the Father says that I come and I eliminate all of these squabbles of differences of opinions. And so the Father comes and he just establishes the one opinion.
और एक मत को कहा जाता है अद्वैत मत.
And the meaning of one opinion is the opinion that isn't fractured in any way, isn't diverse in any way.
द्वैत को फैलाएंगे तो देवता बन जाएंगे, द्वैत को फैलाएंगे तो दैत्य हो जाएंगे.
It's only through this unified opinion, which is Advait Mat, that you can become a deity. Through a varied opinion, then you will become someone who is divided within yourself.
अनेक प्रकार की मत उसको कहा जाता है फिर आसुरी मत. ये मत
Where there are multiple opinions, that's what's known as devilish opinions.
कौन है कितना ये फैलाते हैं? ये रावण राज्य.
And who is it that spreads these multiple opinions? This is the kingdom of Ravan.
इसमें एक अद्वैत मत, कोई झगड़े की, कोई गिप्पिस की, कोई भी बात नहीं, बिल्कुल। ये तो अभी समझ।
In the Golden Age, there's an undivided opinion, a unified opinion, and so therefore there are no squabbles, no fights among anyone.
बच्चे अच्छी तरह से अभी बाप
And the children know this very well, don't they?
है, कहाँ का मालिक है, ये भी बाप नहीं मनुष्य समझते हैं, वो समझते हैं कि नहीं।
And so who is the father? Where is he the master of? People don't understand this either.
ये जो भी त्रिलोकी है उनका मालिक है।
They tend to understand that he is the master of the three worlds.
कि माना मूल वतन, सूक्ष्म वतन, स्थूल वतन, इसको त्रिलोक।
And the meaning of the three worlds is the soul world, the subtle region, and this physical world. That is known as the three worlds, Trilok.
तीन लोक है भाई, त्रिलोकीय नाथ है, ऐसे कह देते हैं।
And they tend to refer to him as the Lord of the Trilok, the Lord of the three worlds.
कहते हैं ये भी झूठ है, हम त्रिलोकी नाथ है नहीं।
And the father says that this is false. I am not the Lord of the three worlds. He is just the Lord of the soul world.
बाकी तो सूक्ष्म वतन में तो वो रहते हैं, ब्रह्मा विष्णु शंकर, हम थोड़ी रहते हैं।
And it's Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar who live in the subtle regions. I don't live there.
हमारा निवास है वहाँ। अच्छा, ये जो है मनुष्य लोग क्या है, इनमें हमारा निवास थोड़ी है।
And then you look at this world of human beings. I don't live here either.
ये तुम्हारा लोक है।
This is your world.
वो ब्रह्मा विष्णु शंकर का लोक है, हमारा तो मूल वतन लोक है, हम कहाँ है?
And that is the land of Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar. My world is the land of souls, the land of Brahm.
नाथ आया नहीं, त्रिलोकी नाथ है, तुम भी कोई त्रिलोकी नाथ नहीं कहेंगे अपन को ना।
So I am not the Lord of the three worlds, and you would also not refer to yourself as the Lord of the three worlds, no.
क्यों? सूक्ष्म वतन के नाथ तो कहाँ है तुम लोग?
Why? Because you are not the lords of the subtle region, are you?
सूक्ष्म वतन के नाथ तो ब्रह्मा विष्णु शंकर, तुम लोग कहाँ है? तुम लोग का इस है, जो स्थूल वतन है उनका मालिक है।
It's Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar who are the lords of the subtle region. You are not that, but you become the lords of this physical world.
ब्रह्मांड का मालिक हूँ और उनका ब्रह्मा विष्णु शंकर मालिक है। कौन कहते हैं परम पिता परमात्मा त्रिलोकीनाथ है या तुम त्रिलोकीनाथ हो?
The Father is the Lord of the soul world, the land of Brahm. Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are the lords of the subtle region, and you are the lords down here. So who is it that says that the Father is the Lord of the three worlds?
अपनी जगह का नाथ है, समझा नहीं? तो ये सभी जाते हैं, बातें हैं गुइये जो बाप बैठ के समझाते हैं बच्चों को, विचार करो, जज करो।
And so these are all subtle things that only the Father explains, and he says, think about it and judge for yourself.
अगर तुम सूक्ष्म वतन के मालिक होते तो तुम सूक्ष्म वतन में रहते, परंतु नहीं।
That the logic is that if you were the lords of the subtle region, you'd be living in the subtle region.
सूक्ष्म वतन में रहते, परंतु नहीं सूक्ष्म वतन में तो ब्रह्मा विष्णु शंकर रहते हैं, तुम्हारा वासी थोड़ी हो, तुम पुनर्जन्म यहाँ लेने वाले हो 84।
You are not residents of there in the subtle region. You take rebirth down here.
तो हर एक की एक्टिविटी या पार्ट अलग।
And so each one's activity, that is their part, is different and distinct.
जन्म लेते हो, सूक्ष्म वचन में जो रहते हैं तुम उनके लिए नहीं कहेंगे कि 84 जन्म, जिनके यहाँ 84 जन्म मिलते हैं.
You are the ones who take 84 births. For those that live in the subtle region, you wouldn't say that they take 84 births.
मूल वचन में क्योंकि जान तो गए ना अभी सभी तीनों लोगों को जान गए ना बच्ची. तो
And so for the soul world, because everyone's understood the three worlds, haven't you all children? Daughter, you understand, don't you?
सरकारदर्शी बने ना तो बड़े मूल वचन में बाप भी रहते, तुम बच्चे भी रहते हो.
You've become the seers of the three aspects of time, Trikaldarshi. So you know that the Father lives in that original land, the soul world, and you souls also live there.
हाँ ऐसे कह सकते हो कि बराबर हम मूल वचन में बाबा के घर में तो रहने वाले हैं ही हम वहाँ.
And so you can say that we are residents of Baba's home up there because we do live there with him.
क्योंकि बाबा भी इनकॉर्पोरेल, हम भी इनकॉर्पोरेल, या बाबा
Because Baba is incorporeal and we are also incorporeal.
निराकार, यानी जब कि हम वहाँ रहते हैं तो कोई सूक्ष्म या स्थूल आकार नहीं है.
We are also incorporeal there because when we are living there, we don't have any subtle or physical body.
बस हम वहाँ आत्माएं रहती है, सो भी हमारा आकार देखो कितना कोई भी नहीं जानते हैं.
And so it's only the soul that lives there. And then if you think about our subtle body, our akar, nobody else knows about this.
इतने बड़े बड़े तो बाप आके समझाते हैं बच्ची आत्मा का आकार क्या, जिसको निराकार कहा जाते हैं.
And so it's the Father that comes and explains that the subtle form, the aura around the soul, is what's known as the incorporeal soul.
अभी कोई जानते हैं क्या? भले गाते हैं, कहते हैं कि चमकता है सितारा दुर्गति के बीच में.
Now, does anyone know about this? Okay, they do sing and they do say that a star sparkles in the center of the forehead. However, and many do have this vision. It's not that they don't have it. But they don't understand about the vision that they've received. They just understand that within this body, that is the place of residence of the soul. And so the soul itself says that where is it that I reside in the body? Where is it that I sit so that I can enable these organs to speak? When I'm not in the body, then can the soul speak? When the soul leaves the body is of no use whatsoever, and therefore it's burnt. One cannot burn the soul, can you? No, because that soul is imperishable anyway. And then if you look, the roll, the part that's filled within it, is also imperishable. So when one says that this is an imperishable drama, then there must definitely be imperishable souls. Because the parts are the imperishable parts of the children. You now know the highest and high God who's been given so many different names. And so they refer to him as the master, don't they, children? And so when one refers to him as the master, that means that everyone else is the children.
Malik, Ma Malik. देखो मुसलमान लोग कहते हैं Ma Malik. अच्छा बहुत.
And so this phrase, Main Malik, I am the master, this is something which the Muslims repeat quite a lot.
लोग भी ऐसे ही कहते हैं, खास करके जो फताबाद के तरफ वाले हैं, माँ मालिक, भाई मेरा मालिक, तो मेरा मालिक, मालिक किसको कहा जाए, बाप ही कहें.
And other types of faiths, like different types of Muslim faiths, they also use this type of phrase when they call out to God, that He is my master. And so who is it that they're calling out to, and who are they? They would definitely be calling out to their father, wouldn't they? It would be the father that would be called the master, wouldn't they, children? If one says the master, one is referring to the father. So then one requires the occupation of the father, the master.
तो उससे तो कुछ फायदा ही नहीं है. मालिक 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 क्या, मालिक से क्या मिलने का है, मालिक को बड़ा याद क्यों करते हैं?
Just saying master, master, master has no benefit. But what is he the master of? What is the occupation of this master? What benefit does one receive from this master?
उससे मिलना चाहिए, यानी बाप है, उससे मिलना चाहिए.
Because he is the master, one should receive something from him. That is, he is the father, so one should receive something from him.
मिलना चाहिए, जरूर इनहेरिटेंस मिलना चाहिए.
And so what should one receive? Definitely one should receive the inheritance.
तो इनहेरिटेंस देंगे तो किस कहाँ का देंगे? वो भी.
That's right, isn't it, children? And if he gives the inheritance, then what would he give the inheritance of, children?
होना चाहिए. भाई यहाँ मालिक कहाँ रहते हैं? भाई मालिक निर्वाण धाम में रहते हैं. चलो.
He would give the inheritance of the land of Nirvana, because where is it that the master lives? He lives in that land of Nirvana.
हम भी तो निर्वाण धाम के वासी होंगे जरूर.
And so then definitely we must also be residents of the land of Nirvana.
वो भी निराकार तो अहम आत्माएं भी निराकार.
He is incorporeal, and so us souls are also incorporeal.
अच्छा, तो फिर उस मालिक से हम चाहते हैं, मालिक को क्यों याद करते हैं?
And so we want something from that master. Why else would we be remembering that master?
मिलने के लिए. कैसे मिले? फिर बात होती है कैसे मिले, क्यों मिले, फिर हमको.
And so then we need to know how we can attain something from that master, and why we should attain something from that master.
क्या मालिक के पास जाकर के बैठ जाना है? नहीं, फिर भी तो हमको यहाँ आना है जरूर.
So is it that we just have to go to the master and sit there? No, we've got to come back down here again also.
लेकिन नहीं आना है. ऐसा कोई भी मनुष्य है जिसको न आना है, यहाँ आना ही है.
And if someone says, no, I don't want to come back down here again, but there's no human being who can say that they don't want to come down again, because they definitely have to come back down again. However, it's definitely the case that some will come earlier and then some will come later.
तो जो पहले आने वाले हैं वो पीछे में रहते हैं, पीछे वाले फिर पहले में रहते हैं. ठीक है.
And so those that are to come at the beginning, earlier, they will be living right at the top, at the front, and those who are to come later, they'll be living up in the soul world slightly behind.
तो पहले में कौन रहते हैं ये भी मालूम होना चाहिए ना बच्चों को.
And so who is it that resides at the front and comes at the start? That should also be known by the children.
पहले में सतयुग में तो स्वर्ग होता है, अभी ये तो नरक है.
At the start it's heaven and now it's hell.
पहली नबला कौन आते हैं, देखो कितनी ऊट बातें हैं जो बाप बैठ करके समझाते हैं कि भाई.
And so who comes at the start? You can see how this is such a important and main aspect to understand, and it's only the Father that comes and explains these things.
समझते हो कुछ, ये तो जैसे ही जो कुछ आया सो अपन को बोल दिया.
What people do is whatever idea comes into their head, they just speak it.
बैठ के समझाते हैं. अभी ख्याल होता है फिर बच्चों को कि वो झाड़ तो समझाई दिया अच्छी तरह से.
But the Father actually comes and explains. And so the Father has explained to all of you the tree. And children understand the tree now.
झाड़ वगैरह की कोई बात कहते हैं कल्प वृक्ष, तो कल्प वृक्ष में भी कौन पहले पहले आते हैं किस धर्म का.
And so this is the Kalpa tree, which has all the religions in it. And so looking at that, one can see that who is it that comes at the start, comes earlier, and who comes later.
आपने समझाया ये वैरायटी धर्म है, भिन्न.
And so the Father has explained that this is a tree of the variety of religions.
धर्म है, लोग है पहले जी थी धर्म, पीछे इस्लामी धर्म, पीछे बौद्ध धर्म, पीछे क्रिश्चियन धर्म.
There is a variety of different religions. Initially there's the deity religion, then there's the Islamic religion, then there's the Buddhist religion, and then the Christian religion.
धर्म वो तो ही ऐसा क्रिश्चियन धर्म क्या सत्युग में जाएगा.
So then would the Christian religion come into heaven? No.
नहीं जा सकते हैं.
It's not possible that it could go there.
राशि ड्रामा है जो
Because this is an imperishable drama.
फिरता गिरता है. ये झाड़ भी इसके लिए भी कहा है कि बराबर ये झाड़ भी पुराना झाड़ विनाश होता है, परंतु विनाश होने से पहले पहले जरूर सपना चाहिए.
That keeps on turning. And this is also a tree, and it's been said about this tree that it's reached its stage of decay. However, prior to it being destroyed, definitely establishment of the new must take place. And so it's been written in the scriptures that there is complete annihilation, a complete apocalypse.
रहता है पीछे क्या होते हैं, वो सागर में एक पितृ के पत्ते में एक बालक आते हैं. बोला वो बालक कौन है, उसको क्या कहेंगे उस बालक का, बालक.
And then after that apocalypse they depict that a baby comes sucking his thumb on a leaf. And who is that baby?
नहीं तो बालक को क्या करते हैं, ये तो बेचारे को कुछ मालूम नहीं, फिर कह देते हैं बालक हो तो श्री कृष्ण है.
What does that baby do? And these poor people, they don't know anything, so then they say, well, that baby was Sri Krishna.
श्री कृष्ण पिपल के पत्ते पर सागर में के साथ बैठते आएंगे, कभी ऐसे बच्चा को इस पिपल के पत्ते पर सागर से, हाँ ये भी सुनते हैं तो सत्य कह देते हैं.
And so how would a child come floating on a leaf in the middle of the ocean? What sort of child could do that? But people just listen to these things and continue to say, yes, true, true. And they don't question as to how this could be possible.
इतना बाप है वो भी आके कहते हैं कि बच्चे मैं आकर करके इस साधारण तन में प्रवेश कर और तुम बच्चों को नॉलेज सुनाता हूँ.
And so it's the Father that comes and explains that I incarnate into this ordinary body and explain knowledge to you.
दूसरे बच्चे भी तो आकर करके छोटे बच्चे के बीच कहते हैं ना, भ्रुकुटी के बीच में, तो जरूर भ्रुकुटी के बीच में आके बैठता हूँगा.
And so then the children come and understand these things, And it has been said that the Father comes and sits in between the two ages.
नहीं तो वो छोटे बच्चों में बैठे तो क्या मान रहे मैं बड़े बच्चों में नहीं बैठ सकता हूँ क्या? और मैं आके कहता हूँ कि मैं आऊँ भला, नहीं तो तुम राय निकालो मैं कैसे आऊँ? मुझे तो रथ चाहिए.
And so I can't come into a small child's body and explain all these things. I would come into an experienced body. And so you tell me that if I didn't come into this chariot, then how would I come and explain? I do need a chariot.
वो तो रथ नहीं, दो चार घोड़े वाली गाड़ी और वो तो रथ की बात नहीं ठहरेगी.
They depict that he comes into a chariot and sits in between a few horses, but it wouldn't be that type of chariot, would it?
तो देखो ये रथ है, उसमें रथ थी, वो तो है खुद अपना रथ में है, फिर बाप का.
And so look, this is a chariot and it already has its own charioteer.
मैं इसके रथ में यहाँ के प्रवेश करूँ, नहीं तो मैं रथ कहाँ से लाऊं? तुम लोग.
And so then the Father says that I come and I incarnate in this one's chariot. Otherwise, where would I get a chariot from? And so you children, you think about it yourselves and you judge whether this is correct and answer the question that who would I come into? And I also have to come in the one who has taken the full 84 births, the complete 84 births. And he is the one who has to become Narayan once again, and so I definitely have to come and sit inside of him. So he hears first. You know that his ears would hear everything first, don't you? It doesn't take long. It doesn't even take a second. And so the Father comes and sits inside of him, and because he is the closest, he hears first. Because he has to come first, and he has to make effort that is of such a quality that he comes first. And so this is a race, and whenever there's a race, there is a place. And so the Father needed someone with a lot of experience, because there are many examples and analogies that had to be given. And that's when you're able to understand. And this one had taken 12 gurus and read many scriptures. But now the Father says, children, forget all of these things. Whatever you've read, you didn't attain any benefit through that. Reading all of those things, look at the state that you've reached. And so what would you say? That this is that soul who was Sri Narayan previously. That's right, isn't it? This one was worship worthy, and he definitely would take rebirth and become a worshipper again. So when they sing, you are the worshipper and the worship worthy, then who are they singing to? Definitely to the one that had become worship worthy previously, and then had taken rebirth? One wouldn't say this to the father. And it's human beings that say this to the father, and they then they would say to the deities, you are the ones who are worship worthy, and then the one who become the worshipper, and then they look towards the incorporeal. But they don't know him. And so the father comes and explains very clearly to the children that, children, keep the tree in your intellect. And so definitely this is the inverted tree up in the soul world, and initially it will be the deity religion that has to start again. And then there has to be the moon dynasty. And so all of these pictures have been made for the children, because without pictures the children wouldn't be able to understand. If you ask someone who hasn't seen a picture of an elephant what an elephant is, would they be able to show that to you? If you haven't seen a horse and someone asks you what is a horse, would you be able to depict that? And this is why when one teaches little children, one uses books and pictures and explains to them, this is a horse, this is an elephant.
Temete sikilade ruhani bayo ke prati dada data kayat pyar. Good morning.